With the Dana White's Contender series going on, many fighters are looking for their opportunity to get an UFC contract. And today in Somos MMA, we have the chance to chat with one of them. I am talking about Matt Dixon, who's going to be facing Orion Cossi next Tuesday in the Apex Center in Las Vegas. So, Matt, first of all, thanks for your time and welcome to Somos MMA.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Well, Matt, let us know, first of all, which are your feelings right now? Are you nervous? Are you anxious? What's going on through your mind these days?
Man, I'm just excited. It's been a great training camp. Feel very prepared for it. I feel like it's been a long road coming to the UFC, and so I'm very happy to be here.
Well, and we can see that you're really confident right now, right?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've prepared very well for this fight. I've had great training partners, and it's just been an all-around good camp leading up to it. So I feel very good.
And Matt, tell us, where are you? Are you still in Tulsa? When are you heading to Vegas?
Yes, I'm still in Tulsa. I'll be in Vegas come this Saturday. So,
Okay.
yep.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll just finish up with my weight cut, and then that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and what about the procedures with the UFC and the Contender Series? Did they tell you something about that and all the COVID-19 situation?
What was that? I'm sorry, I didn't.
No, I was asking about the procedures with the UFC and all this
Oh,
COVID-19 situation and all that. Did they tell you something about that?
yes, yeah. So I had to fly out there to get all the media stuff done beforehand. Now I got all that out of the way. They tested me whenever I got there, and then they also tested me again whenever I got back home. They sent me an at-home test as well too. And so then now I'm gonna go. Once I get there, I'll get tested again, and then I believe one more time after that. So yeah, they're doing a whole lot of testing. So yeah.
Well, but it's great that they keep the show going. So
Yeah.
and it's great that you can fight. And
Yes, this
well,
is
tell
true.
us, Matt, you were talking about your preparation for the fight, and we could see in your social media that you have been training in Westside MMA. Is that correct? With Bryce Mitchell, among other fighters?
Yeah, we came out there and trained for multiple days, and it was a
Yeah.
great training camp. Working with Bryce Mitchell and everybody at Westside MMA was a great time. And honestly, I love it over there. There's a lot of different guys from all different ranges of styles and skill levels. So there's a lot of really good looks out there. So I'm definitely planning on visiting them again in the future.
Did Bryce Mitchell tell you which is the secret with the twister or not?
Yeah, he might just have. He might have.
Okay, and well, Matt, speaking to the people in Latin America who haven't seen you fighting yet, what are they going to see next Tuesday? What can they expect?
They can expect a finisher, and they can
Yeah.
expect a finish. I come to finish all my fights. Whenever I step in there, I'm not the wildest man that's ever fought in MMA or anything like that, but I do come with my striking technique, with my set of movement, my set of skills. So whenever I go in there, I think they can plan on being excited.
All right, and what's your analysis of Orion Cossi? Is there any aspect of his fighting skills that you think you should be careful of?
He does a lot of things well. The guy's a talented athlete. He looks like he grew up grappling. He has the wrestling background. The guy looks like he's not one of those just pushovers or anything like that. He likes to throw a lot of wild techniques. He likes to be exciting. He's not one of those guys that's afraid to stand up, even though he has the wrestling background. So there's a lot of different looks. And he's one of those guys. He seems like he's a little bit unpredictable, like he might just come in there and throw a wild card. So I think it's going to be an interesting matchup.
And what about, because a lot of people talks about the apex cage that is smaller than the regular cage. How do you feel with that? Is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's great with me. To tell you the truth, actually, the cage we got back here, it's about the same exact size as the UFC Apex cage. So I've been working with that, training, sparring, and all of that as well too. And um, it's one of those things. I went out there already previously to see the cage, to see all those different things when I was doing all the media and all that. So I feel very confident that it'll still feel just natural when I step in there.
Just like at home, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I feel just at home, right at home.
And Matt, I want to know, how do you manage the fact that even if you win the fight, there's no guarantee that you will earn the contract. So what about the mental preparation for the fight and for that situation?
Yeah, that's an important thing, a lot of guys, they allow that to distract them and to kind of pull them out of the fight, and they don't go in there and they're not being themselves, and what has gotten me to this point to get the opportunity to the Contender Series is the fact that I finish fights, I work hard, I train hard, and I have that ability to go in there and be one of the best 170 pounders in the world. And I believe that. So at the end of the day, whenever I go in there, I just have to be me, as long as I'm me when I step into that cage, I feel very confident that I will be signing a contract.
And tell me about your experience in LFA, in XFN, and XFL. How do you think that this experience will help you on Tuesday night?
I think it will help me out a lot. I've actually been in those fights, where I had to battle through adversity. I've been through those fights where, guys, looked like they were broken and then they came right back. I thought I had them finished and then they just, acted like a zombie and came right back. You never know what a guy's going to do. I've had a lot of those fights. I had a long amateur career in kickboxing and in MMA as well too. So, I was, taking my time to get here. I didn't rush into the Contender Series. I've had the opportunity to be on the Contender Series in the past, but, I wanted to make sure that whenever I did step in, that the timing was right, that the timing was great. I mean, there's no perfect time, but this, felt like as close as it could get.
Well, I've read about that, because you have already had the chance to enter into the Contender Series or even the UFC,
Yes,
but
sir.
you turned those chances down because you felt that the time wasn't right. So now is the time is the time right now? Well, I'm sorry. Is the time right now?
Yeah, and to say that the timing is right now, but
Yeah.
to go back and clarify a little bit is, I never was actually turning the UFC down or anything like that, but
Okay.
whenever I got those opportunities, I was already either contracted to fight in another organization and different little things of that nature. So the timing just never added up, every time we wanted to go in and fight. And so this was just, obviously we didn't, the whole COVID-19 kind of makes everything unstable as far as these local shows. They don't know if they're going to be able to put on MMA fights, all of those different things. And the UFC is doing an amazing job of staying busy and keeping those shows going. So, it was definitely the perfect time. It was the best time to step in there.
Matt, and what about having Dana White sitting there in the cage side watching? Is that an extra pressure for you, or you're okay with that?
Yeah, I mean, it's always an extra pressure, but I love the pressure, To tell you the truth, I've been fighting, I want to say, at least my last 5 professional fights as if Dana White has been watching, I believe my first fight against Tegan Dooley was the first fight I had on UFC Fight Pass. And the promoter over at XFN, he, said, hey, I think Dana might be watching your fight tomorrow. And so I was like, oh, man, I got excited. I have a lot of respect for those guys, And whenever they told me that, at that point in time, I started fighting almost all those fights as if Dana White was already watching, So I feel like, it's not necessarily new to me, but it's awesome to know for sure that he's actually watching.
And well, Matt, and tell me, how was the moment when you find out you were going to be in the Contender Series? Who told you?
It was a very exciting process, but it was honestly a situation where I didn't know if it was real or fake. I had gotten a text message from Sean Shelby, actually, and he sent me a text, and I had never talked to Sean before, and I know exactly who he is. I know who McMaynard is. I know who Dana White is. I know all those guys. I got a lot of respect for all those guys. But honestly, when I first got the text message, I thought it was, a joke. I thought it was a prank or something like that. I thought somebody was trying to mess with me because I was like, where did these guys get my phone number? Well, I messaged that number to my manager, and he texted me back, said, hey, man, no, that's the real deal. And so
Whoa.
yeah, it was a cool situation, and so I sent the information over to my coach, and we talked about it, and then I prayed about it, and then we came to a deal. It was a good situation.